do this route. Okay, welcome. This is MDog. So we've been playing and streaming a lot of Portal Knights lately, and that's what we're doing again tonight. So if you want to come join us live, we're over at twitch.tv/mdoggaming, and I've been playing Portal Knights long enough now to at least have sort of an idea of some of the basic concepts of the game. There's still a lot of content I haven't seen, lots of content I haven't seen. But it has been, it's been really good, really fun, so I feel like I'm at a point where I can at least start maybe creating a little bit of content about Portal Knights, and that's what we're going to try to do tonight, and we'll probably do some more in the days to come. We're going to start off with just the basics here, just a basic introduction to the game, and we've literally just created a new character, and probably in the next video I'm going to talk a little bit about kind of the class that I'm envisioning with this character. One of my friends from Twitch who's been watching and participating sort of gave me the idea for a particular class that we could build here. In terms of the basic class, obviously this is a warrior. They have warrior, mage, and archer, I think is what they call them. So we're playing a warrior class. When you first get in the game, if you have the tutorial enacted, it's going to just sort of walk you through some basic movement, and it's going to walk you through some stuff. We'll look at that at first, but first let's look at the options for Portal Knights. By the way, this is in early access. It is on Steam. I always like to mention this, especially in the first video I do on a game, that it's Keen Games, K-E-E-N, that's the developer. I want to give them credits, published by 505 Games. This, of course, is a early access game that came out like a year ago, February 25th, 2016. So it's really near completion. I think they're already talking about launching, actually coming out of early access. I think I have that right, that they're planning on doing that soon. So it's got very positive reviews, and from playing it for a little while, I can see why. So let's look at options real quick, and then we'll just jump in and show you a few basics of gameplay. Input options, I was just trying to see if there's anything. Okay, the first thing I did was turn way down camera sensitivity. At least for me, it is just like out of control. I don't know that there's anything else I switched here. The basics for... This is controller, actually. I haven't used a controller. I'm only using mouse and keyboard. Gameplay options. You can turn tutorial on and off. Enemy lock behavior. I really recommend manual. I mean, play around with it and see what you think. But if you have any sort... I mean, you basically... I find with the auto lock system on, it actually gets me in more trouble than helps me. And it's really not hard to aim in this game. I mean, I started off playing the ranged, like the bow and arrow class. And I also turned this off, forced third-person combat. So if you can go into first person if you ever want to be able to fight that way, you want to have that off. I think it's off by default, but this is on by default. And in my opinion, it's much easier to just keep it on manual. In terms of dodging and getting out of danger, it's easier that way. I always play in windowed full screen, mostly because I stream the game, but if you want to have another monitor or whatever else going, it may be easier to do that. I think that's basically all. Turn the music volume down a little bit, but alright, so we'll go ahead and jump. So we finished the first one. Move around using WASD. Open backpack. Move the healing pot to your bar. And let's see what else we want to do. Press middle mouse button to switch between first and third person. So that's what first person looks like. I think some people prefer going to first person when they are doing ranged combat. Even with the ranged combat, for me, I've just kept it in third person for the most part. And now it says to attack an enemy using the left mouse button. So this is a creative game. It is, I guess it has a few survival elements, but not too much. It's more about, has some role-playing elements, and it's just a very vibrant world. So we're going to find an enemy over here and start attacking this green slime. Never played a melee class before. Oh, and I don't have double jump like I do on my ranger. Okay, ranger, that might be what the bow and arrow class is. So I can tell we're not very strong yet. We're having a hard time with this level 1. Alright. Now it wants us to practice locking on to enemies by holding the right mouse buttons. We got to defeat 3 enemies, so we got to keep going. So this is one of those games where you're going to be doing a lot of mining and gathering. You can build your own houses, set up furniture, and all that kind of stuff. Plant your own garden. So it wants us to hold the right mouse button. This locks onto an enemy. And then you can attack it without having to worry about... We'll lock onto this one too. And then it says... Shift in a direction to evade. Are we doing that? While an enemy is locked, press shift in a direction. Oh, okay. There we go. Wait, you actually have to hit it at the same time? Actually, you have to hit the direction first. As we roll off the cliff and through the world. Wait, did we just fall through the world? We did not. Oh man, this is brutal. What an, like, unfortunate series of events. Okay. We almost fell through the world. Let's see if we can jump back up here. Let's get our sword out because combat may start back again pretty quick here. Alright. So it is a creative game, so that means you can just lay blocks down to get out of a situation like this. Alright, he's out. Let's see if we can get out. We're going to fill some dirt in here so we can make this without having to... Oh my goodness. Alright, there we go. So we'll lock back on. There we go. Kill 3 enemies. So anytime an enemy falls, they're going to drop some loot, potentially. They're also going to drop some orange things that you want to collect because it's going to give you experience points. So now we're supposed to collect 2 portal shards. And I actually mostly will do combat. I just realized how low a health we have. We're going to go and eat some berries here. Give us a little bit of health. Not a lot, though. We probably ought to use a health pot. Yeah, let's use a health pot. There we go. I really don't like having locked on combat too much. I typically will just sort of manually do it. Alright, so let's see what the next quest is. We do have the blue portal shards now. Is that all we had to get? So you can beat on bushes to get more berries. Obviously, all the plants and things you can collect by hitting to craft. Same with like trees. They take a little while, but you can beat those and get the wood out of it. So kind of your standard game like this in terms of getting materials to craft with. To start building your stuff up. I think one thing that really drew me to this game and has contributed to my enjoyment of it is just the vibrant art style, right? Almost looks like you're playing a I don't know, in a Disney World almost, maybe. It's just so pretty, and then you get to different worlds. It's called Portal Knights, so you know, not too much of a spoiler. You're going to be getting in portals to go to different worlds. And some of the materials you're going to want to get better gear, better equipment, even better things to construct with. You're going to need other ingredients that you have to go to other worlds to find. So we'll get this cotton right here. Things that we're going to need. Alright, so I think the quest was to get 2 portal shards. Return to the landing pad. I'm not sure. Okay, so I guess the quest was to go back to the landing pad, which we did. Now it says smash the chest to collect your ward. This is in the dungeon tower, so this is probably... So it looks like this is the mine over in there. And this is like the little basic tutorial world. And while you're here, you will have some sort of preset things. Like this mine or a mine similar to that is typically always in this tutorial world. A dungeon tower like the one over there. And then there's usually a house right there. And then there's the portal. And that's eventually we're going to build this portal. So it's kind of got all of the important areas. You see the orange sun glowing above each item. That's kind of showing you where all the important items are, our areas are. It's wanting us to go to this dungeon and collect our reward. So this is the tutorial world. When you go to the next world, and certainly the ones after that, some of them will be a lot larger than this. And they are randomly generated. So you get some really crazy designs, but you also have very varied scenery. And a little less structure. I mean, you'll find villages and houses and stuff, but each time it can be a little different versus this tutorial world kind of feels the samey. But you don't necessarily have to stay here long. There isn't a lot that you have to do here before you kind of move. So we're going to go ahead and go down the bottom of the dungeon And we're going to fight whoever this is. We'll dodge out of the way. You will not attack us. Almost missed that one. Dodge. So we get some loot, and then we also get the experience. It's always worth breaking things open. You never know when something cool might drop out. And then most likely the reward will be through here. Yep, there's the chest. So let's go see what's in this first chest. There's a sign here. You can always hit F to read it. So F is like the use button. Old treasure room. The brave adventurer made it this far shall take the treasure they deserve. Oh, is that a rat in there? Usually pets are found in cages like that. Yeah, we just got the gray rat. So if you do get a pet, you can go to your backpack and equip the pet, and now the pet will be running around with you. The rat's actually kind of annoying in the sense that sometimes when you're trying to mine stuff or do other things, he'll get in the way. Okay, so we got some more shards, some sharpening stones. Sharpening stones are a pretty important basic concept as well. You see our sword on the number 1 action bar is getting pretty low in durability. So if we hit our number 4 button, which is currently our sharpening stone, as you see I put it here in the 4 slot, it'll automatically sharpen our sword all the way back to full. So that's how you do that. We need some dirt. We actually don't have any. Yeah, we do. Okay, in our number 2 slot we have some dirt. So if you ever get to a situation you can't quite get out, just remember to use your dirt to climb out. Did those respawn, or did I really forget to crack those open the first time? I guess I forgot. Alright, so we'll go back out. And I think the next thing it's going to have us do is craft something, because it's telling me to hit E. So before we wrap this video up, let's look at all of the things you can do when you do hit E to open up your menus. Alright, so yeah, it is having us wanting us to craft something. We can craft a blue portal stone, and just to be clear, that is using the portal stone shards to make the portal stone. And then you do click on it to pick it up out of the crafting menu. And we were able to make one more. So now you'll see we've got 3 portal stones in our inventory now. But it's wanting us to craft something else, a stone pickaxe. We need 4 stone blocks. So let's collect those real quick, and then we'll finish looking at what all these different buttons are here at the top. So let's put the egg out of our inventory. We're going to go bare-fisted on this stone. And I think 3 was enough, right? Nope, need 4. So we'll get one more, and this is about to make life easier. When you start crafting these tools, this is going to be a regular stone pickaxe. But even this will make life a lot easier. So now we can hit 3 to equip our stone axe, and then left mouse button, of course, to chop away. And you see how much faster, even with the most basic of tools, which you'll be getting much better tools than this very soon, you can break that wood or stone up a lot faster. You see there's a lot of wood or stone over here. So it is gonna, and I guess it's worth doing if we can get the final piece of the stone shard, which we should be able to. It's probably worth doing that as a part of this basic introduction to the game, because that is a pretty significant part of the game. So there is where the portal is. Normally you need 6, but they've already filled in 2 for you, so you just need 4 more. We're going to put the blue shards in place there so we can portal out of this land. And it says to prepare before you leave. Alright, so let's find... Probably the easiest way to do it is to find some enemies. We could try to just, hit a bunch of stone. That will sometimes drop fragments. So if we can't find enemies, we may be able to get it this way. Yeah, so we just got a shard there. And let's see how many shards we have. Was that our first shard? No, we have 2 now, so we just need 2 more. Still 2. There's usually plenty of enemies, especially at night. The portal enemies, whatever they're called them, usually will appear. So there's something up there we can go attack. Feels like enemies often have the best chance of dropping something. So let's attack this orange slime. He did not give us one. Oh, there's a green slime. He did not give us one either. Come on. We just need 2 more. And we'll finish it up. Ooh! That wasn't very nice. Okay, there's at least one. And you notice our experience bar is continuing to fill up, and we will eventually start leveling here. Because we haven't leveled yet, correct? Yet we're still level 1. So we should have 3. Yep, just 1 more and we'll be ready to go. And there may be a chance that it'll drop off of pretty much anything. Might be a reason to lock in on this guy. Having a hard time hitting the parrot. I've never had these problems before playing a ranged character. Alright, there we go. There we have it. So let's craft the last piece of our shard. We'll take it, and now we should have 4. So we'll put them down here. Okay, so we can do that now. Let's see, where do we need to go? Up there. So we can now walk through the world. Before we walk through the portal. Before we do, though, let's quickly look at our... I'll go ahead and put them in place here. So you just put them in the missing spots. And that's how you open up the portal. Having opened the outgoing path, be wary of invading wrath. So now that we've opened this, now at nighttime, I guess the portal enemies will start coming. Maybe that doesn't happen until you do that. Alright, so let's look at these. First of all, M, of course, is just your map. The far right tab is your map. This allows you to return to the landing pad. So if you get stuck, if you're just somewhere you don't want to deal with having to dig your way out or whatever, you can always return to the landing pad. Really nice little feature there. This is how much gold you have. You run into traders in the game. You can buy recipes and such from traders. You sell things and then buy things from traders. This is where all of your crafting takes place. You do craft workbenches and other crafting tables and things that help your crafting. So there's a lot of things that you can't craft until you start crafting workbenches and other things. So we'll go ahead and craft a workbench just so you kind of see what this looks like. It actually went down here. And so wherever you're going to use the workbench, preferably in a house that you've built or whatnot, you rotate things with Q, by the way. Place that down, and then just like everything else, you hit F to use. And I just wanted to show you this. Now all of these other things have shown up on our crafting options. We can craft a lot more than we could before, including an anvil. You can craft chests to put your stuff in, drafting tables for furniture and that kind of thing. Archer station more for the archer, anvil more for the warrior, altar more for the mage. Anyway, there's just lots of stuff. But down here on the right, you see it says upgrade your workbench too. So not only can you build a workbench, but then once you have copper ore and wood, you can upgrade it, which gives you even more options. And the good thing is, if you ever do put it down and decide you want to move it, you can easily do that. So back to what we were looking at here. These are all the crafting options. I'm not sure if there's anything else we necessarily need to look at for this basic video. You can kind of get to know the tabs here within the crafting menu. They're pretty self-explanatory. Sometimes things show up in a little bit odd places, but for the most part, it's pretty self-explanatory. B, or this next tab, is what's in your inventory. You can fill this up all the way down to the bottom. I don't know if there's a second inventory page that you can, get at a certain level or anything like that. As far as I know, this is all you have in terms of inventory slots, which is a reason you may want to create that chest we just saw. The next is V, or the second tab, which allows us to see what we have equipped. And if you right click or left click on an item, on a slot, I mean, it'll show you what in your inventory you have that could fit there. In this case, the Pioneer Cape is the only thing we have that we could equip out of our inventory. You can also do Vanity, which I'll look a little more in depth at Vanity later, but you can, just like a transmog system or what a lot of MMOs have, in terms of you can have an appearance that's different than the actual gear you have on. So let's go back, because the other way you can equip something out of your bag is to do it from your bag. If you right click it, equip is one of the options. So now you can see we have the Pioneer's cap on, which actually does give us stats, so it's worth putting on. We get a little bit of regeneration of health and mana. Right here you see where our mouse is equipped. This is where your pet goes. Different types of pets in the game. If you ever want to unequip your mouse or your pet, you can do that, and it'll send it back to your inventory. There's the little guy there. And then finally, the last tab is for C. And once we level up, then we will be able to put points into our attributes. Traditionally, a warrior is going to want Constitution for more health or hardiness, and Strength for more striking power. In other words, the damage of your melee attacks. The ranged character, the ranger, you want to use, is it ranger? I'm always forgetting what the archer is called. You want to get agility and dexterity. Agility is going to increase how fast you run. Dexterity is going to increase your aim from afar and the damage of your ranged attacks. So primarily dexterity with a little bit of agility. And then for mage class, of course, it's wisdom and intellect, which have to do with your mana and how much damage your spells will do. So that's your basic attributes. You can also go to talents. And once we get to level 2, we will be able to choose our first talent, which at least I think it will be a weapon specialization. I think that's true of all classes. Your first talent selection is what weapon you want to specialize in. So for us right now, it would make sense to specialize in sword, since that's what we are currently using. And then after each 5 levels, well, first you go from 2 to 5, but then after that, it's every 5 levels you choose another talent, all the way to 30. So that's the way the game works right now, at least with the current build. Okay, so let's wrap up this video by walking through the portal and just showing you what happens when you go to the next world. So we are now warping through to a new land. And like I said before, the basic premise here is, yeah, I mean, you'll see harder enemies and it's more variety of stuff, but you also have access to things that you can gather in this new world that you didn't have access to in the previous world. So it's kind of what's motivating you to move through, because you can continue to upgrade your character and your stuff by going to further worlds. There's also quests, especially associated with events that occur, and there's some other things, but we won't get into that too much into this video. So here we are landing in the new world, and you'll already notice there's something that we hadn't seen on the other world. These are red rubies, flame rubies, sorry. And then there's also copper ore. So right here you'll see copper ore, which we can gather as well. So 2 things that are helpful to gather that is in this world that was not on the previous world. And so the next step would be to explore this world, figure out where the portal is to the world after, and see what kind of adventures we could get into in this second world. So that's sort of the basic flow of Portal Knights, and I think that's a good place to stop this first little Portal Knights intro video. So if you are catching this on YouTube, please come join us on Twitch if you want to see us streaming this game live. But thank you for watching. Please subscribe and leave any comments if you have questions or concerns. Thanks so much. Okay, so